So I want to tell you about a story. This is my very first impression of Carrie. I was at my very first company picnic, and she was kicking butt and taking names in cornhole. And I saw her, killing people at this game, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to step in the ring. I think I can take her down. It was not close. She won. Her to be able to have that type of like lighthearted, fun with somebody she'd probably never even seen before, just speaks to the volume to the type of leader and honestly the person that she is.
It's so funny because I was going to say that she's super competitive, but she's also a great connector. And she allows herself to be vulnerable with people. So that's how she bridges kind of relationship gaps. She just instantly connects with people in a way that is unique
and genuine.
It's part of how so many of our advisors have built just deep, long-lasting, loyal relationships with AssetMark. Carrie's been at the heart of a lot of that.
Yeah, that's right. She really does embody a client obsession. She lives and breathes it every day. I am excited to jump into it too. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I'm Jordan Harrison.
And I'm Ann Hutchinson.
And this is AM Radio.
Today, we have one of my absolute favorite humans on the planet with us on AM Radio, and that is Carrie Hansen, our Chief Operating Officer at AssetMark. Carrie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. We wanted to start out by asking you how client obsession at AssetMark began. You were one of the key drivers of this from the beginning, and you've been here since the company pretty much started. So tell us how it came to be.
No, I would love to. Well, first of all, we were working really hard to turn operations and service into a competitive advantage for the firm. And we had spent several years doing that and had achieved that. And what that meant is sales was bringing us into meetings. Clients were talking about that's why they were working with us and coming to us. So I was looking for something that could unify the whole team to help us just keep upping our game every single year. And I was doing some research on that. And at the time, Amazon was using the phrasing customer obsession. And so I thought this would be a great unifying statement for our team. And the reason that I liked it is because it's not prescriptive. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a call to action. And yet how you do that in your individual job is totally up to you. And so I wrote a communication on it and the team loved it. And what I asked is, give me your ideas about how you're going to obsess over our clients. And I started getting the most incredible ideas. For example, somebody would say, I put a mirror in my cubes so that my client can hear the smile through the phone. And I can actually see myself smile. And so it took on a life of its own. And it has been a long-standing unifying thing for us that everybody's just been able to get behind.
Yeah.
Thinking about where you guys have come from and how client obsession has started and where the direction of our industry is going. We're leaning heavily into technology, using agentic AI to provide some of the customer service. How do we do that without losing that customer obsession, the really human touch that you guys have worked so hard to cultivate?
Well, I think that's a great question. First of all, I'll start with, we're in the relationship business and people need humans. And how we're thinking about technology is how to use it to make our people even better, smarter, faster. I mean, how many times in your personal life have you been trying to get a hold of somebody and you're in an endless phone tree?
Oh, yeah, too many
Nothing
times.
Makes somebody angrier than that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're never going to have that. We're going to have people answering the phone. And by the way, we do it in 14 seconds. We've launched chat, we've launched e-service, but specifically there's a human behind every single one of those things. And so those humans are answering the chats, they're answering the emails, and they're answering the phones. But technology is allowing our clients to call less because we're making the tools up front better and faster. And so they have less reason to call us. And therefore, the conversations that we're having when they do call us are more meaningful. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's all about augmenting human performance to make them better. And you will never see AssetMark launching chat bots or other tools that don't have a human behind it. People need humans like our advisors, and they want us to answer the phone and answer an email and answer a chat. And we always will be here to do that.
How do you think about using technology to remove friction and make the experience easier so when they do call us, they're having a more productive conversation?
The beautiful thing about what we do is every single technology resource that we're launching that enables a more scalable operations and service is actually creating a better client experience as well. And so I liken this to the self-checkout. Nowhere in your life can you go and get great service now. And in fact, you are doing everything for yourself, and then they're asking you for a tip when you did it for yourself. And so we're not ever going to have this concept of the self-checkout, but we're creating easier ways for advisors and their staff to give us the information that they already give us, and interjecting our voice and our kind of experience into that technology experience. And then what that means is they're calling us for things that are more meaningful, that they actually need a person to build that kind of confidence. And I never want an advisor to feel like they're in the self-checkout line and then they should pat us on the back for giving them great service. We're going to make it easy for them up front. And then when they do need to call us, we're going to make it a great experience for them where they know that they can count on us.
I kind of want to go back a little bit to the impetus of client obsession. You guys have done great to build out that program. I mean, I see people doing Client Obsession Week, with their hero capes on, and they have client obsession things everywhere. How do you guys get that wholesale buy-in? How do you develop a culture like that? Because it's contagious, and our advisors have come to expect that of AssetMark.
It's a great question, and the answer is it takes a total cultural movement. So first of all, you got to hire the right people, and we hire people with a heart to serve. And then we can give them all of the tools that they need to actually do the technical part of their job. And to take a brand new person and expect them to feel that without creating some kind of program to allow them to understand what we're all about is futile work, right? So what we do, and under Anne's leadership, we've developed a client obsession boot camp. And so every single person that comes into this firm in our onboarding experience at AssetMark, they learn about client obsession. And part of that is creating an emotional connection for them to that mission. For me, it's a pleasure to get up every day and serve them because they are making a difference in their clients' lives. And for me, it's personal. And for many of the staff at AssetMark, it's personal because our friends and our families are using financial advisors, and it's changing their lives and allowing them to live their best life because of that independent, trusted financial advice. So what we do is we teach our staff, what does client obsession mean? And why are we so lucky to serve our advisors? And then we share stories about how our advisors are changing the lives of clients. That makes it real.
Right.
And you can't expect that to come via osmosis. So we have these boot camps, and we have things like Client Obsession Week, and we teach it in our AssetMark Base Camp. And when people really start to understand who our advisors are and their life's work, which is incredible, it's easy to have an emotional connection to your job. And it's not just a job anymore, it's a purpose to make advisors feel that we're willing to do absolutely anything to serve them better. All of our rewards and recognitions are around that as well. Every compliment we get from an advisor, we share firm-wide the difference that we're making for advisors. Every mistake we make, we go into the nitty-gritty detail of it to make sure that it doesn't happen again. We do root cause analysis on it. And then all of our rewards and recognition program for our staff are all about how we're being the heroes for our advisors so that they can be the hero for their clients. And by the way, we like to have a lot of fun too. And so I think one of the main principles for me is happy people are who create happy clients.
Yeah.
And you can't have a bunch of unhappy people thinking that you're going to absolutely blow our clients away. So we try to have a lot of fun at work while we're dead serious about delivering the quality of work that our advisors deserve.
Yeah.
And actually, Ann and I were talking about this a little bit earlier. The first time I met you was at our company picnic back in 2018. You were cleaning house in Cornhole.
Like
Those who
usual.
don't know,
Yeah, as
those,
always.
those who don't know Carrie, she's a very competitive person, and she's not just competitive; she wins, right?
She's a winner.
I lost that day, and you said the funniest thing in the world to me. She looks at me after she wins by a landslide, by the way, and says, "I owned you. I own you now." And it was the funniest thing in the world. I just think that speaks to the type of team that both of you guys are leading here, and it spills over. It's contagious because I'm not in ops and service, but we try to lead with that service first mentality.
Mhm.
You know, we don't always get on the phone with an advisor, but when we do, we know that, hey, we have a reputation to live up to. It's contagious, and you know, our advisors see it, and so does the rest of the org.
Thank you. And you
Awesome.
know what I think that touches on though, Jordan? It's the authenticity,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And like I said before, this is my life's work. I love what I do, and I love the people I serve, and I love the people that I get to do it with. And I show up as my authentic self every day. And you're right, I'm competitive, and I want to win. I want our team to win, but I also want to have relationships, deep relationships with the people I work with and the clients we serve. And so you got to show up authentically, and people will see right through it
Mm-hmm.
if you're not. And we have genuine loving relationships with each other and with our clients. And I think that's what shines through every
Mhm.
day when we're serving them.
One of the ways we serve our clients is we have a number of advisory boards. We have a field advisory board, which is comprised of advisors. We have the operations advisory board, and now we have the AI advisory board. Can you just kind of share deeper why we started doing those and what they mean to us as a firm and why it's a great practice to listen to your clients?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question, because it's one of my favorite things about AssetMark is we listen to clients. And I think a lot of people say that, like, we really listen to you, we value your feedback, but we create intentional forums to get feedback from our clients, and then we actually do something about it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing more fulfilling to me than we go to our field advisory board or our ops advisory board. When we share an idea with them and we get feedback, 6 months later, we unveil it to them. It has all of their feedback in there. We're acting on what they tell us. That's super gratifying to me. And honestly, I believe that's why clients stay with us for a long time, because not only are we listening, we're following through,
Yeah.
and they can see how they're making a difference. Because when they give me feedback, they don't say, "Hey, Carrie, you guys should do this or that." They go, "You know what we should do next?" They use we. And that is a real kind of partnership with a client that I think most companies would love to have. And we have it because of that, those listening posts and the trust we've built over so many years.
Yeah, you've been able to build a community.
Yeah,
That's
and I
right.
think our advisors have built a community amongst themselves as well through like our events.
Oh, it's true. We just had our field advisory board, and I was getting lobbied by 3 members to never kick them off the board. And it's supposed to be like a 2-year term. And we had a few field advisory board members that were like, "Don't retire me." And they were trying to downplay the number of years they've been on the board, because they value so much getting to hear the ideas, giving feedback, and being able to see those changes come to fruition.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Coming up in about a month, we have our annual Client Obsession Week celebration. Tell us what that entails.
It's my favorite time of the year, actually. And we always do it post-tax season, right? We know tax season is a challenging time for our advisors, and we're working on overdrive to support them. But for us, it's more to just do this rallying cry across the whole firm to get everybody refocused on our clients, what we love to do. And for us, what that is all about is having a lot of fun,
Mhm.
recognizing a lot of advisors, and getting people across the firm to, again, have that emotional connection with the clients. One of the favorite parts that our team will say about it is in ops and service on Monday morning, they arrive, and every single person on our team has a kudo board written in by several leaders, 4, 5, 6 leaders. And it says to them how they make a difference in the lives of clients and how they are seen for what they do.
Yeah.
And it's our team's, if you ask them, it's their favorite part of client
It is.
obsession.
Yeah.
So that's the number one favorite thing. We do an all hands meeting to get everybody aligned on all the things that they've delivered to our clients over the past year. We like to do a lot of fun competitions. You mentioned cornhole. I'm always willing to take the prize there. The exec team either is taking inbound calls. This year, we're making outbound calls. My favorite new thing that we're doing this year is a hackathon with our Prod Eng team, where they are literally going to have all of their engineers, and we have about 200 in the firm, try to solve some either friction in the system or an enhancement that a client's been asking for, just to improve the client experience. And we're going to let them hack away. And then the exec team is judging the ideas that come back. And that's super new. And we're really excited.
I am so excited about that.
Doing that. You'll see balloons across the floor. You'll see advisor profiles in all of our office suites. So again, it is just a reminder why we're in this business and how important the work is that we do.
I mean, everything you guys are saying sounds great. And I don't know, now that when you say it the way that you do, it seems intuitive, but why don't more companies do it?
I think that's a great question. Generally, I think that financial services firms and other firms that have back office functions like an operations and service, think of it as a cost center.
Yeah.
And at AssetMark, we think of it as a revenue center. And that means that we are driving loyalty and revenue by the relationships, emotional connection, and commitment that we have to our clients. And I think more companies can do it. It takes a long time, and you have to be committed to it, and it has to be authentic. And you can't just say it and have people do it. So 2 things for us is we're a revenue center, number 1. And number 2, we believe in this to our bones. It is not a gimmick for us.
I remember I have a story I like to tell that was back when COVID first hit, right? And I was pretty new in this newly founded role of client obsession. And we were trying to scramble to get our folks home onto laptops, make sure we kept processing the work. We showed up for advisors. And I remember saying to you, like, geez, I need to roll up my sleeves and help with something, but we don't really need all this client obsession stuff right now. And you said, we need it now more than we ever have before. This is exactly what we need to focus on. And I remember being really moved by that because it shows that you do believe in it and you are leading from the top down this culture of creating that magic between us and our clients that we serve.
Thank you. It's a really good example too, because a lot of times when things get tough, the first place companies cut is service. Never have we cut in that area. That's where we double down. And if you ask advisors when they're choosing a partner like AssetMark in that part of their business, what's the number one thing that matters to you? And they'll say service. And yet companies don't listen to that and they don't invest in it. And I think we do a lot of things to differentiate ourselves in those areas. But if you only do that and you don't have service, you're not going to win. And so I think we as a company believe in that. We lead with that. And we would never turn our backs when clients need us the most. And by the way, I'm proud of that time too, Anne, because not only did we get everybody home in a day, we met our service levels every single day when our volumes tripled during kind of the scariest time in all of our lives, right? And we were really, really proud of that. And we would show up every single day, every person for our clients. And I don't think they were getting that with their other providers.
Right.
Yeah. I know we do something sort of similar usually when there's like a natural disaster or something. We really throw our hearts into making sure that our advisors are okay and safe and that we can help them operate if they're out of commission for a little while. And I know you've said people say like, gosh, my own mom hasn't called me. And I've heard from AssetMark.
I love that about who we are. Like when we hear that our advisors are going through something, we put together a group of people and say, what can we do to make a difference when they're having a tough time, whatever it is? I love our approach to world events. So when there's a natural disaster, we look at all the zip codes affected.
Yeah.
We find every single advisor that's in that zip code, and we've got somebody calling them to make sure, number one, they're safe. Number two, they're operational. And number three, is there anything that we can do to support you during this time? And then you can show up in a unique way to support them when they need it most.
Yeah.
Carrie, as we wrap this up, one, I want to thank you for coming on. Two, I want to let you know that I will be challenging you in cornhole this year.
Can't wait.
Look out. Look out.
But, lastly, I really do want to see if there's anything practical you can offer our advisors. If they want to implement something like client obsession in their firms and their practices, how do they go about doing that?
I think there's so many super easy ways to start the conversation. The number one most powerful thing, I think, is sharing stories about your clients. So if you have your team in the office that really understands how you're helping your clients and the unique situation that your clients have, it's easy for people to get emotionally connected to it. That's number one. Number two, we have some advisors that have their staff come in like they're a client every year and really think about the client experience. I drove into the parking lot. I went into the office. How am I getting greeted? How does the office look? What's the first thing I'm seeing? And just start thinking about all those touch points with a client and then challenging your team. Everybody come up with one idea where we could create a better client experience. You don't have to tackle it all at once. You could say, I want, when they come in for a client meeting, to have it be an off the charts experience. I'd love to hear your guys' ideas, and then give the team a chance to go and brainstorm it, and then give an award for somebody that comes up with the best idea and implements it, right?
Yeah.
But again, it has to come from a place of, we really want to serve our clients differently than other people, and we want to see their experience with us through their eyes, and getting the whole team involved. And if you're not willing to do something about it when the team does that, then don't start that. Right? You got to be willing to follow through. But it doesn't have to be a massive program. It could be one thing a month. Let's try to improve one part of our client experience a month, and all ideas are on the table.
Yeah.
We're so glad you were here. I mean, I
glad
could
to
talk
be
to
here.
you about this stuff all day.
I can talk to you about it all day.
I thought your piece of advice was going to be hire a VP of client obsession.
I'm glad you brought up that point, because it is true. You could appoint somebody in the office as your dream weaver.
Yeah.
Or your client obsession specialist. Anne is that for us. And I often talk to advisors, and when I know they're going through a situation, I'll go right to Anne and I'll say, an advisor has this situation. What can we do to make them feel special? And she's so creative. And so it doesn't have to be all on you, but it's a mindset to get people thinking about, how can we create special moments for clients? Like I said, it doesn't have to be a full program. It has to be a mindset and getting your team involved on how you can make a difference.
Yeah. Well, you're so good at that. So thank you for joining us today.
You bet. Thanks for
Been
having
a
me, you guys.
pleasure.
Yeah.
I can't wait to take you.
On the next episode, we'll see if I won or not.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for that.
Right.
We already know. Foregone conclusion.
AssetMark Inc. is an investment management and consulting firm that helps independent financial advisors build great businesses. This is for informational purposes only, is not a solicitation, and should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. The information has been drawn from sources believed to be reliable, but its accuracy is not guaranteed and is subject to change. References to financial advisors and service providers are intended for informational purposes only and should not be considered an endorsement or recommendation of AssetMark. Each party is responsible for their own content and services. AssetMark and its affiliates may engage with providers for services. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. AssetMark Inc. is an investment advisor registered with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This content is protected by copyright attributed to AssetMark Inc. 2025. All rights reserved.